Hello everyone and welcome back to Gardening with Gibson. Today we are going to do another video about trellises. Except for this time we're not going to be doing the Florida weave tomato trellises. Instead we are going to replace these A-frame trellises that I have for my cucumbers with some wire mesh trellis instead. This is a good DIY thing. I think this stuff for 50 feet of it cost me $69 at Home Depot. It's 2 foot high and the space in between the welded wire is 2" by 4", so it should be ample space for the cucumber vines to get through and easy, very easy for them to attach onto. So before we get into redoing that trellis system, I am going to give you guys an update on what is going on with this bed. So as you can see here, this is where I did that tomato trellis the last time. The plants are actually getting quite a bit taller. This one here I actually need to do some more on. So I'm probably later today going to put 2 or 3 more rows of this twine on here so that there's lots for them to go from further. And I also, since that last video, planted several more marigolds. There are actually 14 marigold plants, I believe, in this bed now. Let's give them a count just to make sure. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, oh sorry, there are 16. I miscounted, pardon me. I actually have some other marigolds over here too in my main flower bed. There's one right here that hasn't started to bloom yet, and then there's another one of these yellow ones over here. There is going to be some things that are going into this garden bed soon. It's hard to see, but there is a little foxglove down here. That is the apricot variety of foxglove. There's another one of those right there, and another one right here that's a bit bigger than the rest. I also have some annuals that I'm sprouting that I'm going to put in here as well. So just a quick note as to what exactly these cucumber vines are. These are slicer cucumber vines. That guy down there is looking pretty sad because I have a huge problem with squirrels in my yard and they constantly rip stuff up. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this bed actually has chicken wire over the whole thing because that's the only way that I can stop them from digging in here and just destroying everything. And these cucumbers over here are the national pickling cucumber. There's actually supposed to be 4 of each vines, but like I said, the squirrels like to mess with me, so they destroyed 1 of each already. But these are actually starting to get quite big now. As you can see, they're starting to actually turn into a vine. If you look, here is that little tennial thing that is going to attach on to the trellis, which is the perfect point to actually be building this trellis now, because in the next week or so, this plant is probably going to be double the size that it is right now. So the first thing that I am going to do here is I'm going to take down these A-frame trellises. They're just held in by like 5 or 6 screws down to the side of the bed there, and 1 to the side over here, and the same thing, actually no, not on the other side. But yeah, so I'll be back with you guys in a minute after I've taken these down. Alright, now that those are off, I am going to take you guys over into the shady area over there, and I am going to show you guys the wire mesh that I bought for this project. So this is the wire mesh. As you can see, it's quite thin, but the gaps are pretty big on it, and once it's rolled out and stapled onto the sides of the garden bed, it shouldn't go anywhere. Come to think of it, I might actually use zip ties, because I do have a crap load of zip ties. So I might hop down into my little basement room and grab some zip ties to put on this instead. Alright, so now that you have seen the wire mesh that we are going to be working with, I have decided that I'm going to do it at 7.5 foot lengths. That way I'm able to have a good positive area to staple it onto the sides of the garden bed. Alright, after spending 600 million years trying to get everything that I needed, so I grabbed a bunch of zip ties, and I actually grabbed my staple gun just in case, because I'm not sure if the zip ties are going to work, but we'll see. So I am going to go ahead and measure this out here now, and I'll be back with you guys in a second. Okay, so one of the most exciting things for me about doing a new project like this is that it's also new tool day. So I went to Home Depot earlier when I got this wire mesh, and I actually picked up a couple cutters just because I didn't really want to use a saw or an angle grinder to cut this because it's loud and annoying. So I grabbed these Husky cutters. These are, well, they're technically nail cutters, and they'll pull nails as well. So we'll see how those cut. And as a backup, I actually bought these nicer Crescent brand cutters. These will definitely cut that. These are apparently rated up to 5 gauge steel. This steel here is 15 gauge. So yeah, let's go ahead and cut this. I put a little bend in where the 7.5 foot mark is, so that I would just know where it is when I come back to cut it. So these actually work really well. You're able to get in there nice and tight, right to the edge of the cross wire here, and cut it right off. But I do want to try these out too to see how well these cut. It's like nothing with these ones. Nothing at all. These ones are actually a little bit more comfortable because I'm not in here on an awkward angle. So you guys just watched me make a mistake, and now I'm going to have to fix that. What I neglected to think about when I was cutting this to 7.5 feet is that it doesn't actually need to be that long. It actually only needs to be 5.5 feet, because there's going to be a length across the top that is going from one side to the other. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a foot off this for now. I'm going to leave it 6 inches long, just so I have a room to play with. And then I will put that one on the top first, and then work on the two sides after. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and hop up here on the ladder and start to put this up with my staple gun. Alright, so as you can see, that piece is now up. I tried to staple these staples as much on this side as possible so that it wouldn't pull it too much that way. I'm probably going to hammer those staples in some more, maybe put some more in there afterwards. But this particular edge I can just fold over so that it doesn't accidentally stick you, but I'll come out here with a hammer a bit later and do that. Now I am going to go ahead and grab the piece that will go on this side here, and it's going to go right down to the bottom here. I'm going to keep the edge as close to this as possible so it goes in as far as possible as well. Okay, so down here for now, I just have a couple staples, if it would focus, in this far side over here. Just to hold it on there for now, I'm going to go ahead and grab the snips, and I'm going to snip the excess off. Alright, so this side is now done. As you can see, I am going to do the last side off camera just because you don't need to see that again, and I will be back with you guys once I'm finished that. Alright, now that the zip ties are all trimmed off, as you can see, it is pretty sturdy. I'm shaking it pretty well. One thing that I do have noticed, I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's kind of a bow in that right there. I might end up getting a piece of wood and taking this 2x2 off down here and putting another one across the top up there and going down either side. Possibly even reusing these 2x2s, because there's one on almost every side except for there, and then that will allow me to keep it much more sturdy. It will never come off. Also, I don't really like how big this gap is in here, but it might be okay. I might do another 6 inches on each and just zip tie those pieces on. If I decide to do that, I will update you guys on that in a future video. I do appreciate you guys watching today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help the algorithm and will help me get this channel going. I hope that you guys are enjoying this content. If you want to comment on anything, please do. If you have any questions, I will include my email in the link in the description, so that you guys can ask me any questions that you want, and I will do my best to answer them. Alright, see you guys next time, and I hope you guys have a good weekend.